Continuing on down the kids' bookcase, I have taken out Andrew Lang's Color Fairy books. I got a lot of books for younger readers. And why am I holding on to all these? For a lot of them, it's just nostalgia for my kids' sake. They might want them someday. It crossed my mind today, like, why don't I just sell, like, all the kids' picture books? I think I'd take out a stack. But, just be like, here's a well-loved collection. Got a young kid? Want to raise them with some good books? Here's a curated, approved by 4Kids assortment that's survived many purges. Dr. Seuss, the church cat, the church mouse, some fairy tale type stuff, some great, well illustrated stuff like these Downey, amazing. Where's Waldo box set? I keep the Animals Do the Strangest Things books because I really loved those as a kid. And this collection of Australian mythology. Might be it from in here if I did that. For now, I'll keep it. But yeah, I could see selling most of this shelf for like $100. Buy a collection, ready to go. Because I do start to wonder, like, well, what am I keeping this or that for, you know? Maybe I'll just keep it for now. So I get some amazing offer. Anyway, Andrew Lang's fairy books. Fairy books. We looked at all these other fairy and folktale collections in the previous video. But here is all of Andrew Lang's color fairy books right here. There are great century-old editions of these that are beautiful that you see in antique book rooms once in a while. Or in fortunate people's homes. I've seen them in people's homes once or twice. Usually if you see the old color fairy books, you'll see the Oz books too. And some stuff like what's that one, Rabbit? Uncle Wiggily. Anyway, I grew up with these. I loved these. I think I was first introduced to them through... I had blue, red, and yellow. I could see my mom getting like... I don't know. No, I had a stack of a few of these growing up. And pretty sure I had blue and red first. I had violet kind of early on too. Oh, lilac. You can kind of tell. Maybe brown too. But I read these and reread these. I sat under trees all over our home's property. We got to live in this multi-story home for 3 years in Austria. My brother has since based a mansion on in his series Pillage. Oh yeah, good stuff. There's also another book called the Rainbow Fairy book that collects from all of these, but I've done a little snooping online and it looked like it didn't have any it's the same thing. I feel like I did own it at one point and let it slip away for that reason, and it had a cover that didn't quite match right. Non-matching covers. This is pretty cool. Every one of these books has its own theme a little bit. They're all fairy tales in translation, but Andrew Lang was really trying to, and he seems like he was an interesting figure whose name comes up in discussions about spiritualism and seances and things once in a while. But he recognized the value in all these stories and in, I think the value in uniting us as humans to learn these stories and so on. I think fairy tales are often written communally, and so they have this certain extra something to them, you know? Think of a group of women spinning, making up something for each other and for all their kids and whoever's there hanging around. This one I think has a lot of the classic tales in it. There's like, and these are all pretty much facsimiles, I believe. Yeah, they are, of the originals. Maybe with some introduction. But during those 3 years we lived in Austria, we either went to the British bookshop, part of my family during that time. That's me. There's a bookmark from that bookstore I found the other day. Crazy find. But I'd say we got most of our books through the Dover catalog, and that was so great. We could just order up. Oh look, this must have acquired this when I lived in Colorado. That dates this book to 5th grade. So yeah, I acquired most of these as a kid and read and reread them. This one apparently I picked up during 5th grade. A couple of them I could never track down my whole life. And I got them finally when my oldest kids were young, like when Anodyne was a little baby. I completed the collection. She just turned 20. And I've read them all, and I think they're all incredible. And I reread them once as a younger adult, but and I read lots of them to my kids. They're neat. I mean, Dostoevsky, what did he grow up with? Fairy tales, Volga River Bandit tales. There's archetypal stuff in there. It's imagination inspiring. And if you have a young person in your life, track down all of these. Give them these. People will say, oh, well, this collection is dated and has outdated values and stuff. You know, parents can be discerning when they read to their kids. There's one in this one where, like, the guy has to fill a bag with cat heads. Do you think I ever read that one uncensored to my kids? No way. This one is cool to me in the collection because I got this in Austria from the Vienna International Community School, which was the American International School, at a book sale. They had a big book sale there. Oh, look, it's got an original hardcover. This one has a more like Middle Eastern theme to it, I think. But there wasn't one of these I didn't love and read and reread. I got a little self-conscious about them as I got older. My friend Laura, when I was a teenager, would always like make it a big deal when she was in my room and would see these on the bookshelves. Don't forget Mike's favorite books, all the fairy books. He loves the violet fairy book and the blue fairy book. And she'd like go listing through it. I really did, like when you're like a young, insecure teenager, I was like, sheesh. I'm like, there's stories from all around the world and they're really interesting and cool. Or wanting to trade rooms with my younger sibling, then brother, now sister, at the time, because I was just like so self-conscious suddenly of all these books and stuff. Kind of tearful about it even, just like over time, just like, sheesh. I'm like, everyone thinks I'm a nerd the second they come over, you know? And when you grow up in like a church community, you never know if just like 30 people from your church are going to show up sometime and see all your stuff. And anyway, I remember my sibling being like, it's cool, I'll trade with you. And then being like, no, it's all right. I like my books. What the heck? Why am I thinking about this? And I sure am glad I held on to these. And my kids benefited from them. There's like lost ones of these in our family lore that we can't find again. Like, which one of these has the story about the princess in the glass coffin? We've tried to refine that story many times. All the kids liked it so much. But, oh, color inserts. That's cool. I don't think do all these have that? Yeah, oh yeah, I guess they do. Dover really makes a good binding. I mean, they're awesome. Are they still around? I bet they are, and if not, that's a shame. Their legacy will live forever because their bindings are solid. They don't quite have Roy G. Biv worth of colors. They're missing indigo. Should I put lilac there? But, I think this was the last one I tracked down. No, that's the one from Colorado. Oh, that's in horrible shape. Ugly. Ew. Well, it's just that one page, but you know, a great collection. Really happy to have this. Should I get an olive fairy book that matches these? Nah, I got one with a personal attachment. Open one of these at random. Green is a pretty color. Edited by Andrew Lang. Huh. Numerous illustrations by H.J. Ford. I'll never forget visiting the Dover headquarters with my mom in New York one time and just going through the warehouse. Some of these came from that warehouse. I remember being like, can I get some more of the Andrew Lang fairy books? Please, Mom, please. Actually, that's like too pubescent. Let's see, what was I like? I would have been like 10 or 11. It was when we came back to America briefly from Austria for my sister Leanne's wedding. These could be a cool anthology TV show, but, you know, it might be more interesting to, like a biopic series about Andrew Lang compiling these and putting these together. Love a pretty table of contents. I've been working on my table of contents for book one for so long now. It's 2 pages and looks so pretty. Good table of contents is like looking at a drawing of a skeleton. I mean, it's like it helps you think about the project. Dirty Shepherdess. Story of the fisherman and his wife. Oh, that one always gets me. The three musicians. Oh, Bremen. Story of Huck Lee and the dwarfs. It sounds not English. The Crystal Coffin. That has to be the one. Okay. In the Green Fairy book. Haha, kids. Just found it. Really thought it was in one of the blue or purple ones, or one of the reddish ones. We were looking through all those. Okay, it was in the green. All in all, this collection contains 35 stories, all narrated in the clear, lively prose for which Lang was famous. Not only are Lang's generally conceded to be the best English versions of the standard stories, his collections are the richest and widest in range. His position as one of England's foremost folklorists, as well as his first-rate literary abilities, make his collection unmatchable in English language. Hey now. He's British, huh? (1901) was this one. This is a genuine turn-of-the-century collection. What a beautiful, brilliant legacy. I hope these books are still around and celebrated. I haven't kind of snooped around YouTube to see what people are saying. But I know that a love of fairy tales is out there. Like, I know that Chris, who runs Liminal Spaces, really loves fairy tales and could probably just as easily do a channel on the subject as he does for sci-fi books. But, you know, these would be an interesting series of books to go through book by book and review book by book and read as an adult. And it'd be cool to look at Lang's oeuvre, see what else he's written. Appreciate his life. Suddenly I want to, like, write a biography. You know, I'm grateful to the writers of my youth. They're kind of special to me. I'm like, Andrew Lang? I can't even imagine. This guy and Roald Dahl were like head-to-head in my youth. And I don't always love all of my influences. Like, pretty sure all that Mormonism was like an influence too. Like, the Book of Mormon is an abridged compilation, multi-form by all these different authors. And I'm like, I had a moment of horrifying insight one day working on my book where I was like, oh no, is this like that? Was I influenced by that? But fairy tales, that's a great influence to have. I mean, yeah. The Crystal Coffin is in this one. Life. Well, you know, it's crazy. But stories are one way we make sense out of it, make it beautiful, think about it. You know, giving yourself a mythic sense of the world and of being from an early age, that's like a gift. I mean, it's your whole life, you'll get something out of it. I know people talk about people with main character syndrome and so on, and that can be definitely a bad and scary thing. But feeling that you're the hero of your own story is not bad, because you are. Also, I don't know, I've wrestled with this free will determinism thing a lot. It does seem we live in a deterministic universe, but if we don't have some free will within it, or at least live like it, then we'll just accept our role as automatons. I think fairy tales also let you grow up with a sense of wonder and so on. Like, if I ever met an old lady in the woods and she asked me for water, I'm giving her water. You better believe it's Squirrel. That's a cute cat right there. Squirrel, how do you do it? How do you... I bet if I just read all these books for a year, my writing would be like, it would enter a new phase of awesomeness. I would love it. How could the fairy tale voice, the mythic voice, not influence you? A year of reading fairy tales, even if you didn't finish the whole series, but you just like, I'm going to read fairy tales all year. That's it. Not only would you have a million ideas of your own, but it would be a lush, rich reading year. Baby squirrel would appear to you in a dream, which we all know is a good omen. Like rising over a hillside like a Teletubby's baby son. Anyway, Andrew Lang, The Color Fairy Books. Love them, hate them, love to hate them, hate to love them. Where do you fall on this crazy series? My one criticism, who's the main character? I couldn't figure it out. Them all, they're all different characters. What's up with that? I think it's some kind of anthology series. All right, I'm getting texts from my daughter about needing a ride. All right, take care, everybody. Have a good one.